Ladies and gentlemen, you are playing the game of life on hard mode and you don't even realize it. You are standing in front of a giant. Maybe it is a mountain of debt, a health diagnosis, or a relationship that feels like a war zone, and you are trying to fight it with a wooden sword. You are exhausted. You are losing health. You are about to get a game over. But Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that there is a cheat code. She didn't call it that, but she described it perfectly. She taught us how to put down the controller of struggle and switch to God mode. In God mode, you don't fight the boss. You dissolve him. You don't climb the mountain, you move it. If you are ready to stop grinding and start winning, turn off your notifications and listen closely. We are about to change the difficulty setting of your reality. Most people go through their entire existence believing that life is a battle. They wake up in the morning, put on their armor, and prepare to fight the traffic, fight the boss, fight the bills, and fight the flu. They believe that the harder they struggle, the more they will achieve. They believe that force is the only language the universe understands. This is the illusion of the three-dimensional world. This is playing the game with a glitch in your perception. Florence Scovel Shinn said clearly, life is not a battle, it is a game. It is a game of giving and receiving. It is a game of boomerangs, but because you have been trained to fight, you are constantly sending out boomerangs of war, and they are coming back to you as more conflict. When you face a level boss in a video game, the music changes, the tension rises, the monster looks terrifying. It is designed to intimidate you. In life, your level boss does exactly the same thing. Perhaps your level boss is a bank statement showing a zero balance. Perhaps it is a landlord threatening eviction. Perhaps it is a person at work who seems determined to destroy your reputation. When you look at the giants, your heart races, your palms sweat. You grip the controller of your life so tight your knuckles turn white. You try to fix it. You try to manipulate the situation. You worry. You scheme. You lose sleep. This is what the Bible calls the arm of flesh. The arm of flesh is your limited, mortal, reasoning mind, trying to fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons. It never works. The arm of flesh will always fail you. You cannot defeat the level boss by fighting him on his own level. You must rise above the level. You must switch to God mode. What is God mode? In the world of metaphysics, God mode is the state of non-resistance. It is the understanding that there is only one power in the universe, and that power is good. It is the realization that the monster in front of you has no power of its own. It is like a hologram. It only has the power you give it. When you fight it, you feed it. When you fear it, you make it solid. But when you switch to God mode, you stand still. You withdraw your attention from the appearance of the problem and you place your attention on the reality of the solution. Florence taught us the story of Jehoshaphat in the Bible. It is the ultimate tutorial for God mode. Jehoshaphat was surrounded by enemies. The level boss was not just one giant. It was 3 armies combining to destroy him. By all human logic, it was game over. There was no way to win. If he had played on hard mode, he would have gathered his soldiers, rushed into battle, and been slaughtered. But he didn't. He switched modes. He stood still, and he called upon the Lord. And the voice of the Spirit said to him, "Be not afraid or dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's." This is the cheat code. The battle is not yours. You have been trying to fight a battle that does not belong to you. Your only job is to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. In the story, Jehoshaphat appointed singers to walk in front of the army. Imagine that. In the face of a terrifying enemy, he sent out a choir praising the beauty of holiness. They didn't bring swords, they brought songs. And what happened? The enemies turned on each other and destroyed themselves. Jehoshaphat didn't lift a finger. He simply collected the spoils. This is how you must handle your level boss. Whether that boss is a debt or a disease, you must stop fighting it. Resistance creates congestion. If you hate your poverty, you bind it to you. If you resent your boss, you are handcuffed to him. You must agree with your adversary quickly. This doesn't mean you surrender to the problem, it means you surrender the fight. You look at the debt and you say, there is nothing to fear here. God is my supply. This debt is an illusion of the mortal mind. I cast this burden on the Christ within and I go free. When you do this, you are unplugging the boss's power source. You are stepping out of the arena of karma and into the arena of grace. Under the law of karma, you have to work hard for everything. You have to pay for every mistake. It is an eye for an eye. It is the grind. But under the law of grace, you are lifted up. You are given unearned favor. The Red Sea parts not because you have a bucket to bail out the war, but because you commanded it to part. Let us talk about the inventory you are carrying. In any game, you have an inventory of items. Most people are walking around carrying an inventory of fear, resentment, regret, and anxiety. This inventory is heavy. It slows you down. It drains your stamina. You cannot enter God mode while holding on to grudges. Florence Scovel Shinn was very clear. You cannot be rich if you are resentful. Resentment cuts the wire between you and your good. You might be praying for money, but if you are hating someone, you are jamming the signal. There is a woman Florence spoke of who was poor and sick. She felt the world was against her. She was fighting the level boss of misery. She tried everything to get well and get rich, but nothing worked. Finally, she realized she was holding a deep grudge against a relative who had wronged her years ago. She was carrying that poison in her inventory. She decided to switch modes. She started to bless the relative. She said, I bless him, and I wish him well. At first, she didn't mean it. It was mechanical, but she kept doing it. She kept sending out the boomerang of goodwill. Suddenly, the knot in her chest loosened. Her health returned. And shortly after, a sum of money came to her that secured her future. She dissolved the boss by dissolving the hate. You must check your inventory right now. Who are you fighting in your mind? Who are you arguing with in the shower? That argument is a prayer. It is a prayer for conflict. Cancel it. Delete it. Use your wand. Your word is your wand. You have the power to delete the enemy with a single word. That word is blessing. If someone is attacking you, bless them. Say, I bless you and I place you in your true place. If they are not in the divine design of your life, the blessing will remove them. They will fade away like a glitch in the code. If they belong in your life, the blessing will harmonize them. But you cannot lose when you bless. Now, consider the boss of lack. This is the most common level boss people face, the giant of not enough. You look at your bank account and it screams at you. It tells you that you are a failure. It tells you that you will be on the street. Panic sets in. You start scrambling. You start thinking of ways to get money that compromise your integrity or your health. You are playing on hard mode. You are trying to force the supply. To switch to God mode with money, you must understand the law of supply. Money is not a solid thing. It is a fluid energy. It is the manifestation of the divine substance. There is no shortage of this substance, just as there is no shortage of air. The only shortage is in your ability to receive. When you panic, you close the valves. You constrict the flow. You must do the opposite of what the ego wants to do. The ego wants to hoard. The spirit wants to circulate. Florence told the story of a man who needed a certain amount of money by a specific date. The date was approaching, and the level boss of debt was looming large. The man was terrified. But he knew the law. He knew he had to switch modes. He sat down and said, God is my supply and big, happy financial surprises are coming to me now. He refused to look at the deadline. He refused to look at the lack. He acted as if he already had the money. He walked with the confidence of a rich man. He bought a new tie that he needed, even though logic said save the money. He broke the fear. On the final day, a check arrived from a forgotten investment that covered the debt exactly. He didn't fight the lack, he superseded it with faith. You must act as if you have already won the game. In God mode, the game is already finished. The victory is already recorded. You are just walking through the timeline to get to the trophy. This is called living in the end. If you knew with absolute certainty that you could not fail, how would you act today? Would you worry? Would you beg? No, you would relax. You would smile. You would prepare for the celebration. Preparation is the highest form of faith. When you prepare for the victory while the enemy is still standing, you are signaling to the universe that you trust the code. You are telling the game engine, I know how this ends. If you want money, prepare your wallet. If you want a new job, prepare your desk. If you want health, buy the running shoes. Dig the ditches before the rain comes. There is a concept in gaming called the glitch. Sometimes the game behaves erratically. In metaphysics, this is called chemicalization. When you start to switch to God mode, when you start affirming truth, things might seem to get worse for a moment. The boss might roar louder. The debt might look bigger. Do not panic. This is the dust rising because you are sweeping the room. It is the darkness before the dawn. Many people give up during chemicalization. They say, I tried God mode and it didn't work. Things got worse. No, things are moving. The stagnation is breaking up. Stand still, hold your ground, do not go back to hard mode. Do not pick up the wooden sword of worry again. Keep speaking the word. Keep praising the victory. The walls are about to fall. You have a special weapon in your inventory that you rarely use. It is the weapon of intuition. The reasoning mind runs on data. It looks at the past to predict the future. But the intuition runs on divine intelligence. It knows the shortcuts. It knows the warp zones. It knows where the hidden treasure is buried. When you are in God mode, you listen for the hunch. A hunch is a sudden urge to do something that might not make logical sense. Perhaps you have a hunch to call a friend you haven't seen in years. The reasoning mind says, why? That's a waste of time. But the God mind knows that this friend has the answer to your problem. Perhaps you have a hunch to take a different route to work. You do, and you avoid an accident, or you see a help-wanted sign that changes your life. The level boss cannot anticipate your intuition. The boss operates on logic and fear. Intuition operates on magic and grace. To hear the intuition, you must be quiet. You cannot hear the whisper of God when you are screaming in terror. This is why you must stand still. Meditation, silence, and calm are the charging stations for your God mode energy. Stop telling everyone about your level boss. When you talk about your problems, you are giving them life. You are rendering them in high definition. You call your friend and say, you won't believe how bad it is. You describe the boss in detail. You talk about his size, his strength, his cruelty. By doing this, you are worshiping the problem. You are making it a god. Stop it. Starve the boss, give him no attention. If you must speak of the solution. Speak of the power of God. Say, my situation is difficult to human eyes, but with God all things are possible. Better yet, say nothing. Go into the silence. Work the law in secret, and the reward will be open. There is a scene in the Bible where David fights Goliath. Goliath is the ultimate level boss. He is huge, armored, and terrifying. The entire army of Israel is shaking in their boots. They are in hard mode. David comes along. He is a shepherd. He has no armor. He has no sword. He is in God mode. He looks at the giant, and he doesn't see a monster. He sees a target. He says, you come to me with a sword and a spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts. David ran toward the giant. He didn't hide. He ran toward him. This is the attitude of God mode. You run toward your fear with the confidence of the divine. David used a simple stone, a focused thought, a clear affirmation, and he took the giant down with one shot. You can do the same. You don't need a complicated strategy. You need one clear, sharp realization of truth. The truth is this. You are not a body fighting a physical world. You are a spirit having a human experience. You are connected to the source of all power. The boss is a shadow. You are the light. A shadow cannot fight the light. The moment the light appears, the shadow vanishes. It doesn't put up a fight. It just disappears. So how do you switch to God mode right now in this moment? First, exhale. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. That tension is your attempt to control the world. Let it go. Second, accept the situation. Do not resign to it, but accept that it is happening so you can stop resisting it. Say, this is the current state of the game. Okay. Third, declare your switch. Say out loud, I am now switching to God mode. I cast this burden on the universe. I am taking my hands off the wheel. I am letting the divine design unfold. Fourth, reach for the feeling of relief. Imagine the problem is already solved. How does it feel? Capture that feeling. That feeling is the frequency of the solution. Fifth, wait for instructions. Go about your day, but keep one ear open to the divine. If you get a hunch, act on it immediately. If you get a command to be still, be still. You will find that when you stop fighting the level boss, he often becomes your ally. The situation that looked like a disaster turns into a blessing in disguise. The person who tried to fire you ends up pushing you toward a better career. The debt that terrified you forces you to start the business that makes you a millionaire. The boss was not there to kill you, he was there to level you up. But you only level up if you pass the test of faith. If you fight, you stay on the current level. You repeat the same battles over and over again. Have you noticed that? Different faces, different places, but the same problems. That is because you haven't learned the lesson. You haven't used the cheat code. You are still trying to beat the game with force. The lesson is always faith. The lesson is always surrender. The lesson is always love. There is no power in evil. Repeat that until it is tattooed on your subconscious mind. There is no power in evil. The only power evil has is the power you feed it with your fear. Starve it. Turn your back on it. Look at the good. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you are a magician. Your wand is your tongue. You can wave your wand over a chaotic situation and command order. You can wave your wand over an empty bank account and command plenty. But you must believe in your magic. You must believe that the universe is listening. The universe is not a cold, dead vacuum. It is a living, breathing intelligence that is constantly eavesdropping on your thoughts. It wants to give you the kingdom. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. But you have to let go of the wooden sword. You have to stop acting like a frightened child and start acting like a prince or princess of the realm. When you walk in God mode, you are invincible. Not because you are strong, but because God is strong. You are clothed in the armor of light. Criticism bounces off you. Lack cannot find you. Disease cannot touch you. You are operating on a frequency where those things do not exist. So look at your level boss today. Look him right in the eye and smile. Smile a knowing smile. Tell him, you have no power over me. I am backed by the infinite. I am guided by the unseen. I am protected by the divine. Watch the giant shrink. Watch the mountain move. Watch the waters part. The game is rigged in your favor, but only if you play by the spiritual rules. The rules are simple. Fear nothing. Love everything. Trust the divine. Speak only victory. Stop grinding. Stop struggling. Stop crying over the controller. Take a deep breath. Switch the setting. Enter God mode and enjoy the game. The level is already cleared. The treasure is already yours. The victory is already won. It is done. Why are you fighting a giant that doesn't exist? You see a level boss in front of you, a terrifying obstacle that stands between you and your happiness. It looks real. It feels solid. It roars at you in the middle of the night. But Florence Scovel Shinn knew a secret that terrified the ego. The giant is a hologram. She taught that there is no power in evil. The only power the boss has is the power you give it with your own fear. Today, we are going to learn the supreme spiritual technology of non-resistance. We are going to learn how to stand still and watch the walls of Jericho fall down flat. This is not about fighting harder. This is about switching to the dimension of God mode, where the battle is not yours, but the divine's. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and prepare to walk through the fire unburned. You must understand that the world you see with your physical eyes is a world of effects, not causes. It is a world of shadows. When you stand in front of a mirror and you see a smudge on your face, you do not try to scrub the mirror. You scrub your face. The mirror merely reflects what is there. Your life, your bank account, your health, and your relationships are the mirror. The level boss that seems to be blocking your path is simply a reflection of a smudge in your own consciousness. When you fight the mirror, when you scream at the reflection, you only exhaust yourself. You cannot change the reflection by fighting it. You must go to the cause. You must go within. Most people live their entire lives in the third dimension, the world of struggle and karma. In this world, everything is a battle. You have to fight for your money. You have to fight for your health. You have to fight for love. It is the realm of the arm of flesh. The Bible tells us that the arm of flesh will fail you. It fails because it is limited. It sees only the wall. It does not see the door. But there is a fourth dimension, the world of the wondrous. This is the realm of God mode. In this realm, you do not fight obstacles. You dissolve them. You dissolve them by withdrawing your belief in their reality. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us the law of non-resistance. This is the hardest law for the human mind to grasp, because our instinct is to resist. If someone attacks us, we want to attack back. If a bill comes that we cannot pay, we want to worry. If a sickness appears, we want to fear it. But resistance is the very fuel that powers the level boss. Every time you worry about a problem, you are feeding it energy. You are making it denser. You are making it more real. You are essentially praying for its continuance. To switch to God mode, you must stop feeding the beast. You must starve the problem of your attention. Imagine a projector screen. If you are watching a scary movie and a monster appears on the screen, you do not run up to the screen and try to hit the monster. You know it is just light and shadow. You know the projector is in the backup. The room, your mind, is the projector. The level boss is the image on the screen. To change the movie, you must change the film in the projector. You must change your thought. You must replace the thought of fear with the thought of faith. This is how you switch modes. There is a story in the Bible about the 3 kings who were lost in the desert without water. They were facing a level boss of death. They consulted the prophet Elisha. Elisha told them to dig ditches. He said, "You shall not see wind, neither shall you see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water." This is the essence of God mode. It is active faith. It is preparing for the miracle before the miracle appears. Most people wait to see the water before they dig the ditch. They wait to see the money before they feel rich. They wait to see the health before they feel grateful. This is backward. You must dig the ditches in the dry ground. You must prepare for your good while the level boss is still standing there roaring. When you act as if you have already won, the universe has no choice but to yield to you. The universe is a mirror. If you stand before it with the posture of a victor, it must reflect victory. If you stand before it with the posture of a victim, it must reflect defeat. The level boss is simply testing your posture. It is asking you, who do you think you are? If you answer, I am a weak human being, the boss will crush you. If you answer, I am a child of the living God, and I am one with the infinite power, the boss will bow to you. You have been given a weapon to use in this game. That weapon is your word. Your word is your wand, but most of you are using your wand to cast spells against yourselves. Every time you say, I am broke, I am sick, I am tired, it is too hard, you are strengthening the level boss. You are adding armor to the giant. You must learn to speak the language of God mode. The language of God mode is the language of the absolute. It is the language of it is done. When Jesus stood before the tomb of Lazarus, he faced the ultimate level boss, death itself. The stone was rolled across the entrance. The situation was hopeless. Did he panic? Did he cry? No, he switched to God mode. He lifted his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. He gave thanks before the result was visible. This is the key. You must give thanks for the victory while the battle is still raging. You must give thanks for the check while the account is still empty. This vibration of gratitude is the frequency that dissolves the illusion. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of the chemicalization that happens when truth contacts error. When you start to switch to God mode, when you start to affirm the truth, the old conditions might flare up. It is like pouring peroxide on a wound. It fizzes, it bubbles, it looks like it is getting worse, but it is actually getting clean. The level boss might roar louder just before he vanishes. Do not be fooled by appearances. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is the moment to stand still. Standing still does not mean doing nothing. It means maintaining your spiritual poise. It means refusing to react. When the bill comes, you do not react with fear. You look at it and you say, God is my supply. This bill is paid in the divine mind, and it will be paid in the physical realm under grace. You do not let the external world dictate your internal state. You become the master of your atmosphere. There is a concept called the divine design. Every person has a divine design, a perfect pattern for their life held in the superconscious mind. In your divine design, there are no level bosses that cannot be defeated. In your divine design, you are wealthy, healthy, loving, and expressing your genius. The obstacles you face are often indications that you have strayed from your divine design. You are trying to force things that are not yours. You are trying to open doors that are not meant for you. When you switch to God mode, you surrender your personal will to the divine will. You say, Infinite Spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life. Let the genius within me be released. Let me see clearly the perfect plan. When you do this, the false obstacles disappear. The level boss that was blocking the wrong door vanishes, and the right door opens effortlessly. You realize that you were fighting to get into a prison, and the universe was trying to keep you out. God mode is a state of flow. It is like floating down a river. The ego tries to swim upstream. It fights the current. It gets exhausted. The spirit floats. It trusts the current to take it to the ocean. You must stop outlining the way. This is a major trap. You want to defeat the level boss, so you decide exactly how it must happen. You decide the money must come from the lottery, or the job must come from this specific company. By outlining, you are limiting the infinite. You are telling the universe, you can only help me through this tiny keyhole, but the universe has 1,000,000 doors. When you switch to God mode, you let go of the how. You focus on the what. You define the destination, but you let God choose the route. The route might be surprising, it might look like a detour, but if you trust the guidance, it will lead you straight to the treasure. Intuition is your GPS in God mode. The reasoning mind runs on logic, which is based on past experience. But the future is not a repetition of the past. To navigate the unknown, you need a compass that sees around corners. That compass is your intuition. It is the still, small voice. Sometimes it speaks as a hunch. Sometimes it is a feeling of peace. Sometimes it is a sudden urge to go somewhere. You must learn to obey these hunches instantly. The level boss relies on your hesitation. When you hesitate, you fall back into fear. When you act on intuition, you move faster than fear. Fear is simply inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of faith in good. It is the same energy, just used in the wrong direction. When you fear the level boss, you are believing that the boss is powerful. You are worshiping the problem. You must take that energy of fear and flip it. Use your imagination to visualize the solution with the same intensity that you visualize the disaster. If you can worry, you can manifest. Worry is just negative meditation. Switch the polarity. Meditate on your success. See the level boss shrinking. See the obstacle turning into a stepping stone. There is no separation in the divine mind. You are not separate from your good. The money you need is not miles away. It is right here in the invisible substance, waiting to be crystallized by your faith. The health you need is not in the future. It is a reality now, waiting to be acknowledged. The love you want is not in another person. It is in your own heart, waiting to be projected outward. When you realize there is no separation, you stop fighting to get things. You start tuning in to receive them. You switch from the frequency of hunting to the frequency of attracting. The level boss often appears in the form of other people, difficult people, tyrants, critics, people who owe you money, people who block your progress. In God mode, you understand that everyone is just a messenger. They are actors in your play. If there is a villain in your play, it is because you have written a villain into the script. You have a belief in conflict, or a belief in injustice, or a belief in victimization. The person is just playing the role you assigned them. To change the person, you must change the script. You must forgive. Forgiveness is not a moral act for the sake of the other person. It is a selfish act for the sake of your own freedom. When you hold a grudge, you are tied to the person you hate with a cosmic rope. You drag them with you wherever you go. You cannot enter the new level of the game while dragging the carcass of the old level. You must cut the rope. You say, I forgive you and I release you. I deny that you have any power to hurt me. You are a child of God, and I am a child of God, and there is only harmony between us. When you do this, one of two things will happen. Either the person will change and become your ally, or they will exit your life completely. The level boss dissolves because the energy holding him there, your resentment is gone. You have pulled the plug. Let us talk about the armor of God. In Ephesians, it speaks of the armor of God, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit. This is not physical armor. It is a state of consciousness. When you are in God mode, you are protected by your own vibration. A consciousness of love is the most powerful shield in the universe. Malice cannot touch it. Envy cannot penetrate it. Bad luck bounces off it. When you walk in love, you walk in a bubble of light. The level boss might swing his club, but it will pass right through you as if you were air. You are untouchable because you are operating on a higher frequency, but you must be vigilant. The ego is a trickster. It will try to pull you back into the 3D drama. It will whisper, but look at the bank balance. It is real. Look at the diagnosis. It is on paper. You must be the porter at the door of your thought. You must stand guard. Every time a thought of fear comes, you must challenge it. You must say halt. Who goes there? If the thought brings fear, you do not let it in. You replace it with a thought of truth. You say, this is a lie. The truth is abundance. The truth is health. The truth is peace. This takes practice. It is mental discipline. You are retraining your mind. You are like a gamer learning a new control scheme. At first, your fingers want to hit the old buttons. You want to hit the worry button. You want to hit the complain button. But you must consciously choose the God mode buttons. The praise button, the gratitude button, the silence button. Silence is a powerful tool in God mode. When you talk about your problems, you dissipate your power. You let the steam out of the boiler. If you want to move a mountain, you need pressure. You build that pressure by keeping your counsel. Do not tell everyone about the level boss. Do not ask for their sympathy. Sympathy is a soothing syrup, but it cures nothing. Keep your vision to yourself. Work the law in the secret place of the Most High. When the victory comes, the results will speak for themselves. You won't have to say a word. Remember that time is an illusion. The ego tells you that you are running out of time. The level boss tells you it is too late. You are too old, you missed your chance. God mode operates in the eternal now. In the divine mind, there is no time. Restoration can happen in a split second. The years that the locusts have eaten can be restored. You can accomplish more in 1 day of God mode than in 10 years of struggle. Do not be pressured by the clock. The clock is a mechanical device. It is not the ruler of your destiny. God is the ruler of your destiny, and God is never late. There is a rhythm to this. There is a time to dig ditches, and a time to stand still. There is a time to speak, and a time to be silent. You learn this rhythm by listening. You cannot listen if your mind is a noisy marketplace of worries. You must go into the closet of your mind and shut the door. In that silence, you will find the presence of the infinite. That presence is the God mode. It is a feeling of absolute security. It is a feeling of warmth. It is a feeling of I am. When you touch that presence, the level boss shrinks. You look at the problem that terrified you yesterday, and you laugh. You wonder how it ever scared you. You see it for what it is, a shadow puppet. You realize that you were the one holding the puppet. You were the one making the scary voices. You put the puppet down. You turn on the light. The game changes. You are meant to be a master of the game, not a slave to it. You are meant to order your surroundings, not be ordered by them. Jesus calmed the storm. He didn't bail the water, he spoke to the wind. He was in God mode. He knew that the outer world must obey the inner command. You have the same power within you. The same Christ consciousness that was in Jesus is in you. It is the hope of glory, but it is sleeping in the boat while you are running around screaming about the waves. Wake up the Christ, wake up the Master. Switch to God mode. Look at your life right now. Pick one level boss. Just one. Maybe it is a debt. Maybe it is a conflict. Decide right now in this moment that you are done fighting it. Decide that you are going to try the experiment. You are going to hand this battle over to the universe. You are going to take your hands off the throat of the situation. You are going to breathe. You are going to bless the obstacle. You are going to see through it to the truth. Say to yourself, I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free to be loving, wealthy, and happy. Say it until you mean it. Say it until you feel the click in your mind. That click is the gear shifting. That click is the transition from human effort to divine grace. Once you have switched, do not switch back. Do not take the burden back 10 minutes later because you got scared. Leave it on the altar. Walk away. Trust the process. Trust the invisible. The invisible is working for you. The angels are rushing to your aid. The long arm of God is reaching into the situation to rearrange the pieces. You will see miracles. You will see walls fall down. You will see waters part. You will see giants turn into grasshoppers. This is your heritage. This is your birthright. You were not born to lose. You were born to win. You were born to rule. Stop playing small. Stop playing on hard mode. The cheat code is love. The cheat code is faith. The cheat code is surrender. Enter the code. Flip the switch. Watch the world transform before your eyes. The level boss is gone. You are free. You are victorious. It is done. Stop hitting your head against the wall. The wall is harder than you are. You have been fighting your problems with your human will, the arm of flesh, and that is exactly why you are losing. You are trying to manipulate outcomes, force solutions, and micromanage the universe. You are fighting the level boss with your hands tied behind your back. Florence Scovel Shinn said, what you resist persists. The more you fight the boss, the stronger he gets. But there is a switch you can flip right now. It is a shift in consciousness from victim to victor. It is called God mode. It is the state where you stand aside and let infinite intelligence crush the obstacle for you. If you are tired of losing, listen to this script. It is time to hand the controller to the universe. You must understand the nature of the game you are playing. This life is not a battle of person against person or person against circumstance. It is a game of consciousness, the level boss that stands before you. Whether it is a mountain of debt, a terrifying health diagnosis, a broken relationship, or a career that has hit a dead end, is not a physical reality in the way you think it is. It is a projection of your own subconscious fears and beliefs. It is a shadow on the screen. When you fight the shadow, you only exhaust yourself. You cannot sweep away darkness with a stick. You can only remove darkness by turning on the light. God mode is that light. Most people live their entire lives in the third dimension, the world of struggle, competition, and karma. In this world, the rules are hard. You must fight for what you get. You must protect what you have. You are constantly on guard. This is the hard mode of existence. It is the belief in two powers, good and evil. But there is a fourth dimension, the world of the wondrous. This is the realm of the superconscious mind. In this realm, there is only one power. And that power is God, and that power is good. When you switch your consciousness to this dimension, you enter God mode. In God mode, miracles are natural. In God mode, obstacles dissolve not because you fought them, but because you stopped feeding them with your belief in them. The Bible says the battle is not yours but God's. This is the ultimate instruction for God mode. You have been carrying a backpack full of rocks, trying to climb Mount Everest and wondering why you are tired. You were never meant to carry the rocks. You were never meant to fight the battle. Your only job is to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Standing still does not mean being lazy. It does not mean inaction. It means mental pause. It means stopping the frantic spinning of your reasoning mind. The reasoning mind is your worst enemy in a crisis. It is the arm of flesh. It looks at the bank account and says, it is impossible. It looks at the doctor's report and says it is hopeless. It looks at the past and says, it is too late. When you listen to the reasoning mind, you are listening to the lies of the level boss. The level boss feeds on your logic. He grows larger every time you calculate the odds against you. To defeat him, you must stop calculating and start trusting. You must rely on the intuitive mind, the God mind within you. This mind knows no limitation. It knows no obstacle. It knows only the way of fulfillment. Let us look at the law of non-resistance. This is the cheat code. The old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. In metaphysics, we say, agree with thine adversary quickly. This does not mean you agree that the disease is good or that the poverty is acceptable. It means you stop emotionally reacting to it. You stop vibrating at the frequency of the problem. When you are terrified of a situation, you are essentially worshiping it. You are giving it all your attention, all your energy, and all your power. You are saying this problem is bigger than God. By the law of attraction, you are pulling it closer to you. You are gluing it to your experience. To switch to God mode, you must practice a divine indifference. You must look at the level boss and say, none of these things move me. You must realize that the giant is a hologram. It has no power to hurt you unless you give it the gun and the bullets. When you withdraw your fear, the giant collapses. It has no life of its own. It is a parasite feeding on your anxiety. Starve the parasite and you free yourself. Imagine you are in a boat in a storm. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling, and the boat is filling with water. This is your life when a crisis hits. The hard mode player starts bailing water, frantically screaming, crying, and calling for help. The God mode player does what Jesus did. He goes to the back of the boat and sleeps. Or he stands up and speaks to the wind. He says, peace, be still. He knows that the storm is an illusion of the elements. He knows that his inner peace controls the outer chaos. You must become the master of your own storm. You cannot calm the storm if there is a storm raging inside of you. As within, so without. If you are panicked inside, your outer world will be a hurricane. If you are peaceful inside, your outer world will become a calm sea. You might say, but how can I be peaceful when I can't pay my rent? How can I be peaceful when my partner is leaving me? This is the test. This is where you earn your stripes. Anyone can be peaceful when the sun is shining and the bank account is full. That is not mastery. That is simply enjoying the weather. Mastery is maintaining your poise when the bottom falls out. That is when you prove the law. That is when you activate God mode. You must cast the burden. This is the technical term for switching modes. You are carrying a load that belongs to the universe. You must hand it over. You must literally visualize yourself taking the weight of the problem and placing it on the altar of the divine. You say, Infinite Spirit, I cast this burden of debt on the Christ within. Cannot solve this, but you can. I step aside. I let go. I trust. When you truly cast the burden, you will feel a physical change. Your shoulders will drop, your breathing will slow down, the knot in your stomach will loosen. If you do not feel this relief, you have not cast the burden. You are still holding on to the receipt. You are still worrying about how it will be handled. You must let go of the how. The how is the domain of the universe. Your job is the what. You define the desire. God designs the route. The route might be strange. It might be unexpected. It might look like a disaster at first. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that before a big demonstration, there is often a chemicalization. This means things get stirred up. The mud rises to the surface before it can be skimmed off. You might switch to God mode and immediately get a flat tire. Do not panic. Do not say it isn't working. Say things are moving. The old is breaking up to make way for the new. Stand your ground. The level boss often uses the weapon of time. He tells you you are running out of time. The deadline is tomorrow. You are too old. It is too late. This is a lie. In the divine mind, there is no time. There is only the eternal now. God can do in a minute what you could not do in 10 years. Restoration is a spiritual law. The years that the locusts have eaten can be restored to you instantly. Do not look at the clock. The clock is a mechanism of man. Look at the promise. The promise is eternal. Let us apply God mode to money. The wall of debt is a formidable level boss. It seems solid. It seems unmovable. But money is just energy. It is fluid. It is meant to flow. The only reason it has stopped flowing is because you have built a dam of fear. You are hoarding, pinching, worrying, and resenting every dollar that leaves your hand. You are telling the universe that there is a shortage. You are ordering a drought. To switch to God mode with money, you must act as if you are already rich. This does not mean spending money you do not have foolishly. It means spending the money you do have fearlessly. It means blessing every bill you pay. When you pay the electric bill, do not resent it. Say thank you for the light. Thank you that I have the money to pay this. I release this money with love, and I know it returns to me multiplied. This change in vibration melts the dam. It opens the floodgates. You must also dig your ditches. In the Bible, the kings were told to dig ditches in the desert to receive the water, even though there was no cloud in the sky. This is active faith. You must prepare for the money before it arrives. Clean your wallet. Organize your financial papers. Window shop for the things you want. Behave like a person who is expecting a large inheritance. When you prepare the vessel, the Spirit fills it. If you ask for an ocean but you only bring a teaspoon, you will only get a teaspoon. Bring a bucket. Bring a tank. Expand your capacity to receive. Now, let us apply God mode to people. Difficult people are often the most challenging level bosses. The tyrant boss, the critical mother-in-law, the betraying friend. You want to fight them. You want to argue. You want to prove them wrong. This is the trap. When you fight them, you lower yourself to their vibration. You become entangled in their web. In God mode, you realize that no man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher. The difficult person is simply a mirror reflecting a part of your own consciousness that needs healing. They are showing you your own resentment, your own fear of authority, your own lack of self-worth. Do not break the mirror. Heal yourself. Use the weapon of love. Love is the strongest force in the universe. It is kryptonite to the level boss. If someone is attacking you, bless them. Say, I bless you and I see the divine in you. I place you in your right place. If they belong in your life, they will change. If they do not belong, they will leave. But they will leave without a fight. They will simply drift away because there is no longer a hook of resentment to hold them. You have dissolved the connection by rising above it. There is a power in the spoken word that you must harness. Your word is your wand. In hard mode, you use your words to describe the battle. You call your friends and say, it is so hard. I am so tired. I don't know what to do. You are decreeing misery. You are legislating failure. In God mode, you use your words to command the victory. You speak only of the solution. If you cannot speak well of a situation, keep silent. Silence is a powerhouse. When you talk about your plans, your fears, or your problems, you leak energy. You dissipate the steam that should be turning the engine. Keep your secret with God. Work the law in the dark, and the results will be seen in the light. When you are silent, you can hear the hunch. The hunch is the voice of your commander in God mode. The reasoning mind shouts. The intuition whispers. You must be quiet to hear the whisper. The hunch is a sudden urge to go somewhere, to call someone, to buy something. It often makes no logical sense. Why should I go to that coffee shop? Why should I buy that book? Do not question it. Follow it. That hunch is the golden thread that leads you out of the labyrinth. It is the shortcut to the treasure. Many people miss their demonstration because they ignore the hunch. They say, that's silly. I have to work. I have to worry. And they walk right past the open door. You must be on the alert. You must be on the lookout for the lead. The universe is constantly trying to guide you, but you must be willing to follow the breadcrumbs. Let us talk about the appearance of failure. Sometimes, in the middle of the game, it looks like you have lost. The deal falls through. The relationship ends. The bank account hits zero. This is the moment of truth. If you judge by appearances, you will quit. You will say, God has abandoned me, but appearances are deceiving. The breakdown is often the breakthrough. When one door shuts, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one that is open for us. In God mode, you do not mourn the closed door. You say, thank you. That door was not for me. Something better is coming. You trust the divine design. The divine design is the blueprint of your life in the mind of God. In that design, there is no failure. There is only success. There is no sickness. There is only health. There is no poverty. There is only plenty. When you are suffering, it is because you have strayed from your divine design. You are trying to force a life that is not yours. You are trying to wear shoes that do not fit. Switching to God mode is simply stepping back into your own shoes. It is returning to the path that was made for you. On that path, the wind is at your back. On that path, the supplies are waiting. On that path, the right people appear at the right time. You do not have to beg them. You do not have to manipulate them. They just show up. This is the law of grace. Grace means unearned favor. It means you do not have to struggle for your good. It is a gift. But you must be open to receive the gift. You cannot receive if your hands are closed in a fist trying to punch the level boss. Open your hands. Drop the weapon. Stand still. You might be thinking, this sounds too easy. I have to do something. Yes, you have to do something. You have to work on yourself. It is much harder to control your thoughts than it is to control your circumstances. It is much harder to stay faithful in the face of fear than it is to run around in a panic. This is the true work. This is the labor of the Spirit. Every morning you must wake up and put on your armor of light. You must declare, today I walk in God mode. Today I judge not by appearances. Today I rely on the infinite. Today I expect miracles. And every time the level boss tries to roar, every time a worry thought comes, you must shoot it down with an affirmation. Use these words, God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly under grace, in perfect ways. Use these words, I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way, I give wonderful service, for wonderful pay. Use these words, no man is my enemy, no man is my friend, every man is my teacher. Use these words, I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free. Repeat them until they groove themselves into your subconscious mind. The subconscious is like a jukebox. Whatever record you put in, it will play. If you put in a record of sorrow, it will play sorrow. If you put in a record of wealth, it will play wealth. You are the DJ. Change the record. Do not look back at your past mistakes. The level boss loves to remind you of your past. He says, you failed before. You are not smart enough. You are a sinner. Tell him, the past is dust. I live in the now. In the now I am a new creation. In the now I am connected to the source. What happened yesterday has no power over today unless I give it power. I cut the cords of the past. I step into the new day free. You must have the nerve of a gambler. Not a gambler who relies on luck, but a gambler who relies on law. You must be willing to bet everything on the truth of God. You must be willing to look at the empty table and see the feast. You must be willing to walk off the cliff, knowing the ground will rise to meet you. This is the thrill of the spiritual life. It is not a dull, safe existence. It is a high-stakes adventure where the rewards are infinite. But you cannot play safe and play God mode at the same time. You cannot keep one foot in fear and one foot in faith. You must jump. You must burn the bridges behind you. You must decide that you will either sink or swim on the promise of the Almighty. And I tell you, you will not sink. The universe is designed to support you. It wants you to win. It is cheering for you. The level boss is just a test of your conviction. He is asking, do you really believe? If you waver, he stays. If you stand firm, he vanishes. He is a smoke screen. Walk through the smoke. On the other side is your kingdom, so look at your problem today. Name it. Is it debt? Is it sickness? Is it loneliness? Now look past it, look through it. See the face of God smiling behind it. See the solution already formed. See the check written. See the body healed. See the hand holding yours. Hold that image. Do not let it go. That image is the reality, the problem is the lie. Switch the switch. Turn off the hard mode. You have suffered enough. You have learned your lessons in the school of hard knocks. Now it is time to graduate. It is time to enter the school of grace. Take your hands off the steering wheel. You are driving into a ditch. Let the divine driver take the seat. He knows the road. He knows the destination. He drives with perfect precision. You can relax in the passenger seat and enjoy the view. You can watch the miracles unfold like scenery outside the window. This is the message of Florence Scovel Shinn. This is the message of the ages. You are not a victim. You are a creator. You are not a slave. You are a sovereign. The power is in your hands. It has always been in your hands, but you have been using it to fight shadows. Use it to create light. Stop hitting your head against the wall. The door is open. It has been open the whole time. Walk through it. Walk into your good. Walk into your freedom. Walk into God mode. The game is won. The boss is defeated. The level is cleared. It is done. You have the codes, you have the power, and you have the permission. Now, go play the game as it was meant to be played, not as a struggle, but as a victory lap. The controller is in your hands. The power is in your heart, and the glory is yours, now and forever. It is done.